Well, hello and welcome to the Daily Atheist Morning Show. I am your host, the amazing Super Chris Mallard. Thank you for joining me today. I hope you had a wonderful week so far. It's Wednesday, the day of wins. We're going to talk about some interesting things. There's been a couple of changes around. I don't know if you'll notice them or not. I'm working on something. Let me see if it's going to work real quick. Look at that. The button works. The button works. Good morning, everyone. There for a second, I thought there was a conspiracy against me between the gremlins and the evil. Here we go. We'll be back in a minute, guys. Good morning.
Are you feeling the world is leaving you behind? Do you look at all the pseudoscience, rumors, and wild speculation on the internet and wonder, why can't I do that? Well, friend, you can.
It burns
We
when
can
I
help.
pee.
We are Conspirowin. Conspirowin has a long history of helping anyone with a hidden truth. We will get your message out. The conspiracy theories you see today all started out with one person's vision. The moon landing hoax was launched by a NASA engineer whose manager didn't okay his vacation request. Conspirowin was there to help out. Christianity started out because one little girl named Mary got pregnant out of wedlock, and Conspirowin saved the day. Now, the virgin birth is accepted Catholic doctrine. You may be thinking, but my idea of the center of the earth being made of ice is far-fetched. No one's going to believe that. In a world where people believe windmills cause cancer, we say no dream is too big. Conspirowin will take your fledgling idea and feed it to our YouTube, Twitter, and TikTok operatives. And these savvy social media professionals will raise doubts with the prevailing scientific consensus. They will say no one has ever seen the planet's core except Jesus. And science is wrong all the time. That's why science has theories and not Jesus. Within 30 days, we guarantee you CNN will run a story on how your conspiracy theory isn't true. We will also give you 100% assurance Fox News will say your crazy idea about the Earth's core being an icy ball is true. Follow your heart. Listen to the voices no one else can hear. Team up with Conspirowin.
All right, good morning, everyone. So, I hope you've had a great week so far. Good morning, Rickard O'Reilly, Billy Fivehead, Billy Shed, Secular Feelingness kicking in the door earlier this morning, the Atheist Mechanic, as usual. I was a little late getting the show built because I was doing stuff. Still editing together the, don't tell me, the Julius Caesar from the New Mexico Shakespeare Festival. So you've noticed a couple of technical changes. Any other changes have you noticed? Anybody? No? Maybe? Just checking. Oh, I'm going to save this dog hair for me. That's for later right there. That's a good one. Never pass up a good dog hair. Good morning. Too skinny to be fat. Well, thank you. I'm glad you think I look sharp today. I shaved my beard. Yeah. See, well, I used to look like this all the time. If I didn't wear it like this, I would shave off the beard, and sometimes I'd keep like the three here like that, or I just keep just the mustache. But I got an audition this weekend for a different play. I thought I'd go with a more this kind of look. So it's been a while too, and it makes me look younger. I feel it makes me look younger. The Texas Handlebar, yeah. Fu Manchu or the Texas Handlebar, either one, yeah. So, good morning, everyone. Let's see here. I did see, who did I see? I saw Kelly Shear. Good morning, Kelly Shear. Thank you for being here today. Goodness gracious, everybody. I hope you're having, I think we've named the cow. The cow has a name now. Betty. Betty is now the cow. Thank you. Yeah, I used to rock it all the time. The full beard, I guess, I don't know, makes me look more distinguished, I guess. I think the goatee kind of gives me that, what was his name from the Lost in Space? The doctor guy? The bad guy. I can't remember his name right now. Gives me those kind of vibes. A goatee. It's Chris from the Mirror Universe. Oh, that's a good one. Good morning, Vixel. Thank you for joining us. Yeah, the Mirror Universe. That's right. 'Tis I. Let's see here. I want to pull up what we've got. Hope you guys can hear me okay. I rebuilt the show. Are my lips synced with the audio and all that business? Let me know, guys, if you don't mind. If things like that, my lips are not synced with the audio, or if the commercials are a lot louder or softer than I am, or some of that business, just let me know and I'll work on getting it straightened out. Yeah. Thank you, Kelly, for saying hi to the person over there in the chat. Not really sure what's going on. Thank you. So good morning, everybody. So today is Wednesday, and what I want to talk about today is, let me bring up our topic here. Oh, it's over here. There's actually a couple things that have been on my mind, and one of them, we've been talking about the book of Mark and the violent scriptures that Jesus have in the book of Mark. But there's other things too that I want to talk about. We've talked about a couple of times. I want to take a shift. In fact, let me dismiss that. I saw a video, we talk about this kind of often on the show, about the book of John. And just this morning, I was watching Dan McClellan video where he was saying that even where they think it's saying Jesus is God, that's not what it's saying. At the beginning, whenever it's like, he is the one and the one is the light and he is the word and the word is him and all that business, whenever it's going through all that, trying to equate Jesus to the word or what it sounds like it's doing, Jesus is the word was from the beginning, all this business. Dan McClellan has a very good explanation as to what that's all about and why it's not actually claiming Jesus is God. And he's Wile E. Coyote smart, that guy. He is. I'd love to have him on the show. Wouldn't that be awesome to have Dan McClellan on the show? Some real smart person on the show? I mean, we haven't had a smart person on the show since Ryan and Kelly were here. Just me. Let's see here. Hypatia Stanhope, good morning. Yeah, it would be nice. I might send him an invite and see if he'd be willing to come on the show. I don't know. He might not. But, maybe I won't ask him to be on the show. I'll just send him one of my thoughts. And, where he goes, well, let's hear it. And then he'll see if he either backs me up or destroys me. My thoughts like some of the things about where Jesus says, I don't really know. I'd have to go think about it. Oftentimes I come up with things I'm like, oh, yeah, this is what I think. I have to ask Dan McClellan. The one I was going for was the one where Jesus says he's not willing. And I wanted to kind of get with Dan and go, hey, is that what he's really saying? That he's not willing? Because they're all like, Jesus willingly gave himself. Well, actually, no, he did not. He begged not to go, and he said it was not his will to go. He only went because God creature told him to. It's not my will, it was your will. He says it in every book he says it, several times, in fact. So he was not willing. Therefore, does that change? Let's see, he's a bit odd in that he still proclaims to be a Mormon, I think. Good morning, Yoshi. I think so too. I've heard that. I've heard he's some kind of, he is a believer of a fashion. I don't remember, Dan, if you're watching, 1,000 apologies. He is and that was the reason, my understanding was why, otherwise Godless Engineer would financially support him through tips or something like that. But because Godless Engineer has this rule about giving to anybody who's likely to tithe, and since Dan is a follower of a church, he's likely to tithe. So when I heard that, I was like, oh, I didn't know. I didn't know. So now I know. That would be an interesting conversation as well. And it may just be cultural, or familial because of his family or whatever situation. Good morning, Chemical Squirrel. Looks like Chris is the center of the universe today. Sorry, no bowing down from me. That's blasphemy. I'm going to cry and then smite you and burn you in hell forever. Good morning. Good morning, Chemical Squirrel. Yoshi. I'm going to say this. Yoshi Kagagira. Good morning. I hope I said that right. I probably should have said Gira. Kagagira. Anyway, good morning. And then there's Anka. Good morning, Anka. Usually when I can't say somebody's name correctly, I blame the Texas accent. I'm from Texas. This is a handicap. I can't say those words. Normally, I'm really informed about religion history. Not today, but normally I would always come in and give some history. Yeah. Oh, Chris, normally I am very. Yeah, no, you're stoned off your ass this morning, aren't you? Too skinny to be fat, I think. That's you. Yeah. That's the best way to be. Good morning, Wolf Shield Fox. Wolf Shield Fox is something else. That's apparently not the first thing they said. Good morning, Wolf Shield Fox. I'll find it. I'm almost. Let's do this. See user history. Let's see. 1 minute ago, 41 minutes. Okay, so, and I got scientific data that proves the brain. So it's like you kicked in the door with the word "and," as if you're finishing. Maybe I misunderstood. And I got scientific data that proves the brain actually has a receiver for the spirit world. Looking to the University Study of Pennsylvania, study atheist, non-atheist study, you'll be amazed. Yeah, I'm doubtful, very doubtful. A receiver for the spirit world. I'm extremely. I find that very dubious and doubtful. I don't really have time. Obviously, I'm running a show right now. I guess I do have the time. Let me finish what else you said. But I do find you to be, as my friend Brian was. You are very intelligent, maybe too smart for your own good. Might not be talking to me. I love to talk to those people. I learned so much from this damn show. Good morning. Thank you, Wolf Shield Fox. The whole thing, I don't know. I'd be hard pressed to. I would have to go look in whatever that study was and find out what they were talking about or whose interpretation this is. Is this what the scientists were saying? Why would they say that? Why would they say that? I think that's powerfully that's going from a scientific to a non-scientific step really quickly. I would be interested. I'll have to make a note. Oh, I see. Basically, when you pray, it turns on. If you don't believe in God, you cannot turn on that part of your brain or a higher power. Therefore, it is a receiver for the spirit world. I don't think that's exactly. You can equate that, but I don't think that's what that is. Let's just do this. When you pray, it turns on. Basically, you're asking an imaginary creature for something. You're praying. You've been programmed to do something with your brain. You're reaching out to the creator of the entire universe to ask them something. Well, of course. Yeah, I could see how, since I don't believe in that crap, for me to sit around and do it, I probably wouldn't have the same reaction in my brain, would it? That doesn't necessarily mean that it's a receiver. That all that means is maybe that people who believe have a different brain chemistry than people who do not. That's actually a speculation. We have a Tatum Keegan is a psychologist who talks about that very thing all the time. Yeah. About how our brain chemistries are different between conservatives and Christians and theists and non-Christians and liberals and that sort of thing. 100% clinically done, great study. Okay. I get it. I could see how there's something whenever somebody prays. I would not be surprised at all that whenever somebody prays, there's some sort of chemical change in their brain. And I could even go about based on whether they believe or not. Totally makes sense because the brain runs everything. If you believe something, it's different than if you don't believe it. Am I right? Am I right? And that's sort of like whenever those Christians come out here and say, you got to believe. Well, I can't just make myself believe. You just can't turn that shit on and off. And if I don't believe truly, it won't work anyway, then will it? So why should I just fake it? Anyway, let me catch up here. Godspeed. Good morning. Godspeed. Let's see how to clinically do. I'm going to try to pin that just because I'm curious. I'd never heard that before. Pennsylvania study. Let me pin that up there for me later. Thank you. Godspeed. I have scientific evidence that blood is an energy conductor and good for powering robots. Well, yeah. I would think so. There's enough iron in our blood, which is a, conductive material. So sure, yeah, why not? I would buy that too. Anka says if I'm going to put my money on it, if it's true or not, I'm going to go no. Let's see. Why would you evolutionary make something imaginary? Doesn't make any sense. Well, mankind has been trying to answer the question of why where the thunder comes from, and what controls the stars in our destiny, and what makes a good day a good day, and a bad day. And we have attributed those things for generations and generations to a higher power. Whether that higher power is the real higher power or not a real higher power. Obviously, it's not. Where does the thunder come? God creature. There's spirit all over the world. You can see different peoples throughout history and their writings and their scratchings on the wall trying to explain the universe as best they can. And it's easy for some people to believe in something that doesn't make sense, that doesn't exist. I mean, we could talk about the people where I'm referring. We'll shield Fox to your reference where why would you evolutionarily make something imaginary? I don't really. How about we do it like this, just for kicks? You engage your imagination. When you sit down to engage your imagination, there's a little part of your brain that turns on, right? Okay. When you're sitting, not engaging, you're just sitting there doing maths or some shit, that part of your brain is not doing the things that it does. But whenever you're sitting there thinking about a story, about, something, having a date with Jessica Alba or whatever you think about, whenever you're doing that, a part of your brain activates. You get that, right? You picking up what I'm putting down? Okay. That's cool. But there's not really an emotional, there's not that kind of, there's a different kind of imagination, but there's also an emotional attachment that goes with prayer. Both are real. Your imagination, that you imagine things and that you have feelings for people and things. Those are both real things in your brain. So whenever you do pray, I could see how people, and it would also, I guess, depend on who's praying and what they're praying for, how much they believe. This study that allegedly claims there's a receiver for the brain, if anything, it would probably say, yeah, this person is more likely to believe things that aren't true, I would think. Yeah. There's a separation of reality, truth and reality, and that would be a good indicator. The brain scan would tell you. I guess that kind of, in my mind, that made sense without insult. I speak so plainly about things. I didn't really realize, I wasn't thinking about that could be seen as an insult. Anyway, pardon. But yeah, I very much doubt. So I'll have to check into it and see what they say. Let's catch up. Hypatia, Stanhope, Zarcross. Good morning, Zarcross. Thank you for being here. Godspeed says, I often think about blood. Well, you know what? Thank you, Godspeed, for trying to keep this man on topic today. The blood of Jesus. It's a blood cult. Thank you. I get distracted. Microtubules. Oh, that's a good one. Yeah. Lisa Allen says Jesus is life. I mean, in a phrasing, a claim, I am the way and the truth and the light. I am the life. I don't really know that I am the light. I mean, we're talking about the same Jesus. You think Jesus is God, right? So we're talking about the same Jesus, like, kills all the people in the Old Testament. And Matthew brags about he's going to come back and murder billions of people, him and his angels. I mean, men, women, and children. But yeah, I guess you could say he's life. Sure. Okay. If you want to live there. Good morning, by the way. Mr. Kobold, what a cool name. I mean, just because of what I think of a kobold. My first experience with a kobold was in a video game. Never mind. Good morning, everyone. So, no, Jesus was a carpenter who did not even know his own faith system. A carpenter, I think. Jesus misspoke on the Old Testament all the time. That may have been part of the deal. I heard Dan McClellan or somebody on the internet say that apparently what Jesus did was he went down and caused a riot at the temple, and that's what got him arrested, and that's what got him executed. I just heard about this earlier today. I'll have to go look at it. Let me make some notes here. Jesus riot temple. Can you not type, Chris? Jesus. Damn it, man. Riot temple. Actually, the blood of Jesus Christ is a 1420 hydrogen line, which is water living. Oh, no. Okay, now I know where we're going. All right. Now you're just getting into all manner of fantasy. Really, I'm going to go over here and I'm going to just kind of take this note I had made about going and checking out this study in Pennsylvania, and I'm just going to erase that. I mean, if you're going into the whole, there for a second, I thought you might be a serious individual. No offense. I don't mean that, again, in an offensive way. You are probably serious. I mean, I don't want to say legitimate. Legitimate. It's just, when you're going there, all of a sudden, actually the blood of Jesus Christ is a 1420 hydrogen line, which is living water, which is a frequency to the Sagittarius line. Oh my God, you're just fucking, I hope you're kidding. If you're not kidding, my friend, I hope nobody lets you around their children. It's just a common thing with those kind of, Sorry. I mean, it's just a little bit, good morning, Oddmod. Good morning, Oddmod. And I'm all being a dick about it, too. I don't mean to be a dick. It's just like, I'm like, oh, wow, this shit went like from like almost normal to like, oh, fuck. I've seen people come up with like things and they're like, oh, hey, check this out. I heard somebody recently say that Jesus' blood, specifically, we're talking about Jesus' blood, about how we actually have Jesus' blood. And then, this is actually a Dan McClellan video. And so Dan McClellan destroyed that and said, this is pretty much just Ron Wyatt made all this stuff up, made it up with no proof, no evidence whatsoever. This, if you know who Ron Wyatt is, he's a fraud is what he was. Literally a fraud, religious fraud, all this other business. He's the guy responsible for, I don't know about a lot of the Shroud of Turin stuff, but absolutely positively this guy is all up in the business of the Noah's Ark in Turkey on the mountain and the rocks and the scanning rocks and claiming they're one thing when they're really not and just making shit up. Ooh, I had a super chat. Thank you for the super chat. Ooh, Tech says, when do you want to debate me or are you scared? I don't even know who you are. Why would I want to debate you? I'm scared. See, I'm not a child. And going, oh, you're scared of me. That just doesn't really, that's not, who are you? Who are you, by the way? Let's start with who are you? And do you have a church, a following? Do you have like a big YouTube channel? Are you a preacher? Can we debate in front of your church? Are we going to do a live stream debate in front of your church? Any of those things true? Or are you just some jackass on the internet with a couple of bucks? I appreciate your couple of bucks. But who are you? And why should I even bother? Right? And what would we debate upon? What would we debate upon? That'd be a tough topic, wouldn't it? Is God creature a murderous, your atheist's worst nightmare? I highly doubt that. Is that all you got? You got nothing else? You don't have like a name? You're not a pastor? You're just some badass on the internet? Is that what I got? My largesse is dissipated. What is it this morning with oh my goodness, what's going on today? Hell. You got more in storage. You got more what? Good morning, Cypherbox. How are you doing? Let's see what you have to say. I hope you're not an idiot. We'll see. Yeah, it hurts when no one can grant your wishes and dreams. Well, okay, let's see what else you had to say. Hello, unhappy and unlucky people. Must be speaking to us. Do you still remember how to be happy? Yes, it hurts when no one can grant your wishes and dreams. That could be a lot of Christian projection. You know what I mean? Or it could be, there could be a person talking to Christians. Hello, unhappy people, speaking to the Christians. Do you still remember how to be happy? You are worthy. You're not dirty. You're not wicked. You're not disgusting. Can you still be happy? And then the individual goes on, yes, it hurts when no one can grant your wishes and dreams. And I think what that means is since your imaginary God creature doesn't exist, I'm sure it must bother you. Right? Good morning, Cypherbox. Thank you for joining us. You guys are fun today. Good morning, Anka. He has snow in the storage just like he's God. Good morning, J. Paul. Thank you for joining us. You're master debating Charlie. Gotcha. Interesting. Yeah, so I'm just going to check here. Just one more. Let's see. When Studio One. Okay, sorry. It was telling me something. I just want to see one last thing here before I just completely discount it. No, I didn't mean to do that. Toggle. No, son of a bitch. So yeah, nothing. You got nothing. So the question you ask, and I will answer your question. You will disagree or ignore me, and then I will move on. You may not move on. I'll move on. Your question is, if God doesn't exist, why make a living out of the non-existence of nothing? Well, if you're talking about me, I'm making a living. First of all, I'm not making a living. No, this is not a living at all. It's absolutely not a living. If you know anything about content creation, it's not a living at all. No, I mean, I appreciate the support I get. I just bought a new computer, which was like $1,700, and I'm hoping I'll get enough, possibly enough super chats and help over the next year to pay that off. Maybe. As far as a living, no living here. Now, if you're talking about a preacher selling something that doesn't exist, well, look, obviously they make millions doing it, don't they? Billions. How much is Joel Osteen worth? Ooh, how much is Kevin Copeland? Not Kevin Copeland. Copeland? What the hell's his name? You know who I'm talking about. All those weird old preachers from the 80s. How much? They're worth millions and millions of dollars. So it sure does seem like it makes a lot of sense to... Kenneth Copeland? Is that right? It sounds like it makes a lot of sense to sell things that don't exist, doesn't it? Let's see, to actually... So let me go back here. Why make a living out of something that doesn't? Now, as for me, why do I do what I do, even though it doesn't make a living? Well, because Christians are harmful. You're harmful. You force your religion on other people. You hurt other people. You're oppressive. My goal is to expose you to how ridiculous your religion is. Yeah, to show you how stupid the word is. This is just crazy stuff. Why you believe it, you should be ashamed of it. So I can pull you away from your hate faith. So you'll stop hurting people. You'll stop voting for people who hurt people. Oh, Donald Trump said he's going to kick all the trans people out of the military. I'll vote for him no matter what, because Jesus hates trans people for some reason, right? So you're down there voting because of Jesus. For a monster. But you got what you wanted, didn't you? All those trans people lost their careers, kicked out of the military. Not you, of course, but you know what I mean. Religion is harmful. Your religion is harmful. My job is awareness to other people. There's some people out there in your position who are indeed believers, who actually want to know the truth, who, when exposed to the truth, they would actually accept it and change their minds. Not all of you, though. Not all of you. Some of you are so dependent upon, so latched into that there's just nothing. You want to be lied to. It's comforting. It's soft. Nothing we can do. So there's that. Let me just kind of get rid of this here. You remember, guys, whenever we used to have Pastor Dean come on the channel, always remember Pastor Dean? Yeah, if he was a real pastor, he never proved it. Just talked it a lot. Yeah, let me catch up here with the chat here. Good morning, Pax Headroom. Let's see. I want to keep. Sometimes I do. I want to remove the Pennsylvania thing off my pinned to-do list. There it is. Bye-bye. Christians don't force their religion. Muslims do. Good morning, Easy Loves. Christians do force their religion. In fact, they do. They have for ever since, right? I mean, Muslims do too. No doubt. I'm not going to argue with them. Muslims are over there, though, in the Middle East, are they not? They're over there in the Middle East. Let me ask you, Easy Loves, let me ask you in the chat, for me, will you do me a favor, Easy Loves, if you're still there? Please put in the chat which religious group is putting the 10 Commandments in schools in the United States. Is that the Muslims or the Christians? Which group, the Muslims or the Christians, are responsible for blue laws throughout the United States, where you can't buy alcohol on Sunday because of God or Jesus? Which group is it that, as mentioned just a minute ago, took over the United States government and literally, openly, admittedly so, Christian nationalists, and are now that they kicked all the military, all the trans people out of the military, destroyed the careers of thousands of people, good people, for just religious bigotry? Who was that? Was that Muslims or Christians? That would be Christians, wouldn't it? Women in the United States are now forced to live by Christian thinking whenever it comes to their bodies. How many women have been harmed or died in a parking lot or a hospital waiting room because they couldn't get a desperately needed abortion because their doctor couldn't determine it was severe enough, because you jackasses are the ones that determine how severe it is before a woman can actually get, you know what I mean? Christians, that's who does all that. Did you put all that in the chat for me or no? I'm just curious. I'm done. Yeah, Cypherbox, just a moron. I'm done reading you. Every time I read your comments, my IQ drops. It's just, I was just kind of curious to see if our individual out there who is comparing Muslims to Christians, if you were willing to admit that it's actually Christians who are doing all these things. Yes? No? You still there? J. Paul, good morning, J. Paul. J. Paul says, why do I have to be grouped with people that don't actually share the same values or worldviews as me? Let's see, what are your values? What's the point of Judas? Judas? Too much, I hate you. You all feel like you're cool, we just don't agree. No, those aren't Christians. See, that's the whole thing, man. I tell you, all Christians think those other Christians are not Christians. None of you are going to heaven. Just ask any of the others of you. And the whole notion that you guys think there's an objective morality, and yet none of you agree on your religion, and that all of you are wrong, there's obviously no objective morality there. Obviously. Or it would be the same. I'm just saying. Anyway, can anyone can call themselves a Christian and never read or know the truth? I know, right? Just like you. I don't know that you're a Christian or anything. I'm just saying, all those other Christians say the same thing. They all say the same thing. They come in the chat all the time. They do it right here in my chat. It's so common that I, the lowly Chris, with like a small, tiny following, a small YouTube channel, it happens so often. It's so pervasive throughout Christian, just blah, 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 that they come in, they say, those aren't real Christians. Anyway, I don't disagree with you, though. And then J. Paul says, why do I have to be grouped with people that don't actually share the same values or worldviews as me? See, that's the whole thing. If you're a Christian, that's the whole thing. Yeah, you're really not. I mean, well, I guess you are by the title Christian. What's a Christian? Are you the arbiter of what a Christian is and what is not a Christian? The Pope actually would probably claim to be the highest ranking arbiter of who is a Christian and who is not a Christian. Am I wrong? I would maybe be wrong. Frosty Lord, good morning. Here's $10, buddy. But yeah, the American way is politics, but the Christian people are the voice of the people and enacting authority. So yes, it's mostly a bunch of people holding things down or up or whatever. Thank you for the super chat. American way is politics, but the Christian people are the voice of the people and enacting authority. Man, that really reflects poorly, doesn't it? On Christians, if they're the ones now in charge and they're the ones the American way. Really, God, I gotta tell you, man. Christian, liberal, political, Democrat, atheist, all of it. Let's just set that aside for just a moment. I mean, I'm 55. I had this notion of what the United States was and what the government was. I mean, it's a bureaucracy and it was thick and it was a bunch of shit and it was, damn you government. But man, I never thought our government would take the turn it has taken. And all it took was money. Lots and lots of money and corruption. Money and corruption. So I just, and that's not just, that's not liberal, that's not conservative, that's not Republican, that's that's all of the bastards. That's all of them. I mean, some more than others, but anyway. Back to On Point, man, on point. Let's see. Good morning, Ivory USA Racing. Good morning. Let's see. Avigdor, a Christian, is a person who has taken the brain out of gear and allows pompous oaths and fancy garbs to do their thinking for them. Fair, not wrong, could be applied to any theist of the Abrahamic religions. not just Christians. We'll spread that hat around. I mean, let's see. Remember, Christians vote, and universal suffrage brings universal suffering. Yeah, Christians vote. They really do. And that's part of the reason why it's taken so long for us to move past certain things, like I mentioned earlier, the blue laws. Blue laws, a lot of you may not even be old enough to, can I see your hands? Any of you who've never heard what a blue law is? You're not old enough to really know what a blue law is. Yeah, the further we get away from Christians making the laws, the more our society becomes nice and pleasant and whatever you want to call it. Not oppressive, but theirs is oppressive at every point. There they are. Here's our blue laws. What are blue laws? If you're not old enough, show me what a blue law is. Let's see. Are you sick this morning? You don't look well at all. Good morning, Bible believer. Thank you for joining me. I hope you are having a wonderful day. Actually, I've gotten a few compliments this morning because I shaved my beard. And some people have said I look kind of sharp this morning, sexy-like. So, I appreciate you. What do you think now? Now that you've seen that I shaved my beard, right? I'm like the what they say earlier, the mirror universe. Chris Mallard. Thank you, J. Paul, for the $2 super chat. Respect free thinking. Thank you for doing this. Thank you, J. Paul. Yeah, I appreciate all the support. One of the things I want to say is that we often disagree, no doubt. But oftentimes, and I think most of the time, we are genuine in our assertions. I genuinely want to help the Christians out there who are being led down a bad path, and they're hurting people, and they're going to hurt people, and they need to be blah 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 blah. Right? I mean, I don't do this. Why would I do this? Because I believe in it. I believe Christians are the same way. I believe many of them come in here and they're the same way. They really believe, and they're really earnest in their belief. Hey, man, I believe for you. I want you to be good, and I want you to be okay, and I want you to find the Spirit of the Lord or whatever business they're going on about. Regardless of whether I agree with what they're saying, they believe it. And their spirit, if you will, I don't want to use a word that their heart is in the right place, as is mine, I feel. Let's see. Beard of empathy. At least you didn't take it all off. I know. I am powerful ugly whenever I take off the whole beard. But, I got like various stages of off that works. So, Hypatia Stanhope is looking for a dance. Is it time for a dance? Oh, my goodness. In Oklahoma, we changed our liquor laws to sell liquor on Sundays, although I think the liquor and weed stores need to stay open 24 hours. Yeah, really, the whole thing. There were laws where you couldn't sell those things on Sunday. Why? Jesus. Good morning, John Hudson. Good morning, Kelly Sure. We all have the spirit derived from the Latin spiritus, meaning breath or wind, used in place of the Hebraic word rausch or Greek pneuma. There you go. My chi's kind of close to my colon. Prostate. That's what it is. Damn it, I fucked up a good joke. Anyway, good morning, everybody. Let's do a little dance. Sing a little song. For those of you who are new and you don't know what it's talking about, it's just a song. If you have questions about what it means, ask. Otherwise, I'll just assume everybody knows because we do this all the time. I'll be back in a minute. Mi burrito es tan bueno, it burns when I pee. Abraham had the crotch cooties and gave his sister wife to me. El ataco fue no bueno, it stings like a bee. They told me she was his sister, now I'm plagued between the knees. I've got the Pharaoh's curse, a case of penile plague. I've got the Pharaoh's curse, there's fire between my legs. Mi burrito está no bueno, a full bladder I fear. Abraham's lies and Sarai's touch have left me itching front to rear. Mi burrito está no bueno,
It burns when I pee. Abraham had the crotch cooties and gave his sister wife to me. I've got the Pharaoh's curse, a case of penal plague. I've got the Pharaoh's curse, there's fire between my legs. Está no bueno, a full bladder I fear. Abraham's lies and Sarai's touch have left me itching front to rear. Mi burrito está no bueno, it burns when I pee. Abraham had the crotch cooties and gave his sister wife to me. I've got the Pharaoh's curse, a case of penal plague. I've got the Pharaoh's curse, there's fire between my legs. I've got the Pharaoh's curse, a case of penal plague. I've got the Pharaoh's curse, there's fire between my legs.
All right, we're back. Good morning, Kay Owens. How are you doing? I hope you're having a wonderful day. A wonderful week, in fact. Kay Owens says, I remember in South Carolina when any store wouldn't open until after 1:30 p.m. on Sundays, if they opened at all. Yeah, it's religious. In some places, it was just like a courteous thing, you know, like taking off your hat when you go into a building. Other times, it was a law, you know, that they could not. Even now, sometimes you go into some places here, I'm not really sure, they'll have the liquor blocked off until a certain time of the day, even in certain stores, because of blue laws. Not always because of blue laws, there are other reasons, but often. And the fact that there are any blue laws that regulate that at all, that's a Christian infringing on other people's rights. If they don't want to drink, they shouldn't be drinking. They shouldn't be forcing that shit on other people. Anyway, so good morning, Kay. Thank you for joining us. Don Wagner says, hello, 4 billion people have not heard of Jesus. I know, a whole bunch of them. Well, many of them actually have and didn't believe, oddly. It's amazing when you stop and think about it, how many people were literally with Jesus and saw him do miracles, everything, and still didn't believe, because maybe they weren't really miracles. And how many people saw and witnessed the God creature in the Old Testament, saw its power, its anger, its wrath, and yet still worshipped other gods, like the Israelites that it freed from Egypt. It literally just freed them from Egypt with a staff and snake and free my people and plagues and all this business. And as soon as they get free, what do they start doing? They start worshiping Hathor and other gods from Egypt. Why would they do that? Interesting. Good morning. Oh, the Atheist Mechanic has been a member for 6 months. You are fantastic. Thank you. Says, get this, the country where Jack Daniels is brewed, county is where Jack Daniels is brewed, is a dry county. That's true. That's an interesting little factoid. Jack Daniels, the guy, he kicked his safe because he couldn't get it open and it caused an infection in his foot, and that's what killed him. You'd think with all that alcohol there, they just pour some alcohol on it. I don't want to judge, though. Thank you for this. Friend, thank you for being a supporter of the channel. I very much appreciate you. Let me go here. Don Wagner, good morning. Thank you for joining us. Cypherbox, with or without religion, war will still happen. Stop living in your Cinderella world. Face reality. All right. Well, you're correct. In this world, because of greed and land and water rights and all kinds of various different things, we do have all kinds of wars. People die in wars. It's true. Those are all things that are tangible, aren't they? Tangible. Land, water rights, food rights, minerals. Wars happen about those things all the time. Oftentimes, greed in politics, especially in the last couple, you know what I mean? But really, oftentimes, it's really about resources. Valuable resources. Tangible resources. Isn't it? Whether it's the conquest of another country to expand your own stuff, or whether you're spreading around the world like Egypt did, it's all about resource, or not Egypt, but England did, right? However, how many wars were started that were not about resources that were just about God. I mean, when we think about like the death toll, let's see here. Let's just see here. Just kind of going off the thing. Oh, look here. I've got a new thing. Let's try this and see if it works or if it fucks up on me. Boopsie. Well, there we go. All right. So now how many people, between 7 and 17 million people, died as a result of the Protestant Reformation? That's a lot of people. That's just the Protestant Reformation. Just it. Just that one. Roughly. Of course, obviously, it's a pretty rough number. Just that one. And what are they fighting for? An intangible thing that doesn't exist. Murdering people in the name of a God that they can't prove is real. That's what they're fighting for there. If you ever talk about the story of the Midianites and you talk about how God creature, you know how he killed off the Midianites and they were wicked and bad or whatever. And we talk about it here on the channel as atheists. We bring it up all the time because that's God and Moses commanding the murder of children. What was the sin of the people that were destroyed by the ancient Hebrews, by Moses and his people, the people of God? What was their sin? Was it that they were violent against them? Did they murder their children? Did they rape them? No. No, some of the women lured, allegedly, some of the ancient Israeli men away from their belief in Tim. They took some. That's really all that happened. That's it. Go look. Because of the Peor incident. You can go look that up. Peor incident. So because some of their men were tempted away from their tribe, they went and murdered everyone. They murdered every single one of them except the young girls, which they kept for themselves. And they only did that. Now, see, had the generals actually followed through on what Moses had told them to do, they would have even brought back the women and children. They would have murdered them all because that's what they were commanded to do by Moses and God. Yet, they didn't murder them all. They brought some of them back. And Moses is like, what the hell did you saved all the women? No, you need to kill all the males, the little ones among the males. Because they've already murdered all the men. They've already killed all the men of the Midianites, according to their own story. You need to go kill all the little ones among the men, males. And you need to go kill all the women who have known a male. That means pregnant women. That's talking about running a pregnant woman with a baby in her belly through with a sword. Moses, commanded by God. Interesting, isn't it? But what was their sin? Was it something horrible? Like if you talk about the part in the Psalms, was it 127 or something? When they're talking about dashing babies against the rocks. Happy will you be who dashes your enemies' babies against the rocks. Well, yeah, you might have heard that as a atheist argument, but they're actually that's in response. They'd been attacked. And that's what had happened to them, allegedly. And they're saying, when it's your turn, be happy to do it back to them because those people did it to you, which is really disgusting and sick because this is God's people. A, he couldn't protect them from that other attack. And B, that not only that would happen, but that his people would write down to return that level of vengeance in a song. Fascinating. So there you go, Cypherbox. So with religion, you certainly do get a lot of deaths, specifically for nothing. Nothing. That's just that one. I mean, we could go on. There are lots of different religious wars. Just look up religious wars. Don't waste my time. And what do you call them? AI tokens or whatever to go look up your shit. Let's see. Mallorca. What an interesting name. Mallorca is Atlantis. I've suspected this whole time. Good morning, Mallorca. I hope you're having a wonderful day. Let's see what Mallorca has to say. I don't know. Yeah, I should see what they have to say before I'm so greeting to them. Sometimes I'm a jerk, though. Too Skinny says, Chris, please do goat candles. Okay, I'm going to leave that up there. I'm going to do goat candles for you in just a moment. Let's see. I'm going to pull that pin down. And then Godspeed said, you know what? Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob should be a harem anime. Oh, yeah. Yeah. See, whenever you're just Isaac and Abraham and Isaac, that's one thing. But when you throw Jacob in there and Ishmael, get Ishmael in there, and Hagar, where Abraham, the father of the Abrahamic religion, rapes his wife's slave, has a baby with that woman, abuses her to the point of she running away. Then an angel of the Lord tells her to go back and continue taking the abuse, which she does. And then Abraham finally has a child from his own real wife. And so now, once that child is weaned, he no longer needs the child from Hagar, so he casts them both out into the desert to die. Yes, that's the father of the Abrahamic religion, isn't it? It is. Huh. Good morning, Miss Non Sequitur. Thank you for joining us. Easy Loves, let's see, was Easy Love still here? Are you still here? The point is that even if you take religion out of it, banning abortion is just common sense. No, it's not. It's not at all. I mean, abortion is a thing where you should evaluate. There's a point between conception and birth. There really is, where it's not a baby and then slowly becomes a baby. There's a point at which, and you shouldn't be the one to make that decision. Your religious people should not be the one to make that decision. If your religious people are going to be the ones that may need to make that decision, find me an example in the Bible where it says you should care about babies, unborn children. I can find you over and over examples, just like I just mentioned here on this show minutes ago, about God creature commanding the murder of children. I can give you, you know what? You can go look up the bitter waters. That's where Moses, I think, is it Moses or God telling Moses telling a priest something. They're telling them essentially, listen, if you even suspect a woman has been unfaithful and she's gotten pregnant, you even suspect so. You don't have to have any other reason, any justification other than you suspect so. Give her this magic potion made out of temple dirt and holy water from the temple. And if she has been unfaithful, it will cause a miscarriage. That's an abortion prescribed in the Bible by God creature. Also says in the Bible, how many innocent souls have you yourself sent to hell because you wouldn't let their parents get an abortion? How many? That's not a zero number. Not a zero number. Do you ever think about that at all? Do you ever know what your Bible actually says about these things? You know, I mean, there's somewhere in there that says something about they will know you in the womb. That doesn't mean shit. There's also somewhere where it says murder these children in the womb with a sword, as per a prophet by of God creature. So your whole argument just is so destroyed. And if you just stop and think about it, maybe not you, this is where you have been led. The whole point is to oppress women. Your whole deal about abortion and all that other business is about oppressing women. It is. It's about oppressing women. Yeah. You may not feel that way. You may were led that way by apologists who were. But when you stop and look at the religious tokens behind, I mean, I've given you more reason than you can give me. I can give you more examples of God creature killing babies, ordering them to murder a baby, all the reasons why you should not be pro-life, if that's the term you want to use. You should be pro-abortion. I mean, like us on the who are actually pro-choice, we're not pro-abortion, we're pro-choice. You should be pro-abortion. You should. If they get aborted, they go straight to heaven. You have insured a soul into heaven. But it's about controlling women, isn't it? Let's see. Catch up what's going on here. Good morning. J. Paul says, what court? Man, I'm trying to get, but Ishmael became a great nation. Okay. All right. So what I mentioned earlier, if I can, Abraham raped his wife's slave, had a baby from that, abused the slave to the point that she ran out into the desert with her child to fucking die, but the angel told her to go back. So she goes back, endures some more abuse, I guess, until the man finally has a child with his own real wife. And then he casts them out into the desert to die. Our individual, good morning, I do appreciate you, said, where'd it go? Let's see. But Ishmael became a great nation. Did he? Did he? And that excuses God creature for casting them out into the desert to die. But I thought Ishmael isn't he the father of that what became Islam? Depending on who you ask, of course. He's a villain. He becomes a villain. His line becomes a line of villains. Do they not? Am I mistaken in my... Guys, just refresh my memory. Am I wrong in that thinking? Obviously, I haven't read up on this, but I thought Ishmael went on to become the father of Islam, the founder of Islam, or brown people. I don't remember how they want to see it. I don't know. Maybe that was Ham. I don't know. But yeah, I thought Ishmael went on to... That's because the Bible says that women are property. Oh, it does over and over again. Good morning, Jackson Garrett. It does. So much it does. They don't. Some of them don't believe it, but I mean, you can go right to so many examples of where it lists them out. You know, that instance where I was talking about earlier, where Moses sent his men to kill all the Midianites. Well, they returned with stuff. And they listed out all the property they had returned with so many donkeys, so many this, so many that, so many women. They were just wrapped up in there as the property that they had stolen. Or whatever, however you want to put it. Cipher facts. Why would you even say something so ignorant? Good morning, Long Halloween. He borrows the biblical worldview to argue against the Bible. Your worldview has no objective basis in morality. Neither does yours. I really wish we didn't have this argument so often. Demonstrate objective morality from your God creature. Show me some way that you can demonstrate that people from your religion actually have the same morality. You have 40,000 different denominations of Christianity alone. This is just one branch of the Abrahamic religion. We're talking about a full 6 billion people on this planet, and you just can't say they all agree on the morality of the world, can you? Can you in any laughingly way say that? Even among Christians, you can't say that. You think Catholic Christians have the same moral sets and the same objective moral source as Mormon Christians? You really think so? I will tell you something they do have that is objective, singular, univocal, if you want to use that term. The sun, isn't it? The sun is the world's source of light. It is objectively the source of light for the world, correct? So no matter where you are on the planet, if you go outside and you look at it, it is the same sun, is it not? It's objective and universal. You cannot say that about Christianity. You would just be lying out your ass to say you've been murdering each other by the millions. Here, we're just right here. I even have it up on my screen. The Catholic Reformation, between 7 and 17 million people died from you Christians murdering, not just religious people, specifically Christians murdering people, each other, because you can't agree on your what? That the sun is the sun. Because to one group of Christians, the sun is shining green. To other one, the sun is this big, and it's that. To another Christian, it's far, far away. And it's not even different groups of Christians. Every damn one of you has this different idea of the relationship between you and your God creature. Look at the people who come in this chat, just my chat this morning, and said, oh, those people aren't Christians. Oh, really? So you're now the arbiter of who's a Christian. Do you see? No, probably not. Oh, candles. I did promise you candles. It is time. We're going to do goat-scented flesh candles this morning, I promise, for Too Skinny to Be Fat. You don't have a favorite sport. Wow, what a sad. I have a favorite sport, football and masturbation. I don't know if that's a sport yet or not. Football, though.
Have you sinned again? Oh, and it's bad this time. A chicken just won't do. But wait. You don't have a goat for your burnt offering. Oh, no. The Lord's wrath is upon you.
Insignificant person whose name I don't know, you have sinned. Probably. I shall smite thee.
What do you do? You're all out of goats. She left you for another man.
Fear not, my wayward child. Introducing Father Flanagan's line of goat-scented flesh candles.
No goat? No problem. Just light one of these bad boys and let the sweet, savory scent of burning goat flesh rise up to the heavens.
Is that goat?
It's easy, it's fast, and deluxe models even have patented technology that produces a goat screaming sound as the wick burns.
Father Flanagan's line of goat-scented candles. Save a goat, burn a candle.
Father Flanagan's line of goat-scented flesh candles are part of our You Do You Jew interfaith outreach program.
When you sinned and need to atone, light a candle and avoid the stone. When the Lord requires that hundred snow, light a candle or you're going to hell.
All right, we are back. So thank you for joining us this morning. We've got our little friend here. Let's see. How many people, Long Halloween says, how many people did Mao, an atheist, kill? I don't know. Probably a lot. You think a lot? Maybe a lot. Can you go find me a flag? A Mao Chinese flag? Or, I don't know, flyer, bulletin that has, in atheism we trust? Now, I do realize that Mao was, and he was an atheist indeed. He was, thought religion was, what do you call it? Mysticism, or what is it? I don't know. He didn't like it. He thought it was a bunch of junk. But he was also so many other things. He was a Leninist. He was a blah, blah, blah. He was a blah, 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 blah. He was raised this way. He was raised this way. I mean, to think that his only motivation was that atheism. And again, you just can't find any things where he's out there murdering people by the millions in the name of atheism. It's about power and control, land, rights, money, all those things. Pol Pot, same thing. Pol Pot murdered his own people. I mean, he would not just kill you, but he would also kill your whole family because he didn't want them to retaliate against him. He was probably an atheist, but he didn't go around going, in atheism we trust, I swear. And I mean, you got to be honest, their numbers aren't even close to the Christian numbers. Not only did they not do it for atheism, they just happened to be atheists. It's like going, oh, one of them was left-handed. How many left-handed people, right? I mean, because it wasn't really related. I mean, I could actually almost give you Mao because of it wasn't necessarily because of the religion itself, because of the God creature, but it was a power thing. You know, there was the church threatened power kind of situation. But I mean, to sit around and you don't really think people walked around going, yay, let's go murder those theists. No. But you know, we can find lots of examples of theists murdering atheists. That's pretty well known throughout history. Or atheists or non-believers or people who believe differently, pagans, Wiccans, anybody really. Let's see, Mormons aren't Christians. Thank you for that. See, I very much appreciate you solidifying my point for me. Thank you. I don't really think that that's the case, obviously. That, you know. But it's kind of funny that the ancient Hebrew people would villainize the Arabs that way. Southern Sunwalker, should the no true Scotsman fallacy be renamed the no true Christian fallacy? It should. It's probably more common. I mean, just ask any of them. Any of them. Some of them will say, well, if you believe in Jesus Christ and accept him in your heart. And other ones like, fuck that. You got to do this. You got to believe this way. Or I mean, they come in here all the time and they're arbiters of and say, no, those aren't real Christians. So I don't know. You guys work that out yourself. Let's see here. Toggle pin. DC says he doesn't think I understand the Bible. I know you think that. Let me get rid of this right here. I got to scroll out of my chat and miss a lot of stuff here because I'm just kind of behind. Dairy Fiend, good morning. It's been a while. I hope you're doing great. Hope everything in your world is wonderful. Laura Wears Hats is here. Avesta Freeze. Wow, all you cool kids are here. Good morning. Atheism has nothing. Its existence is in vain. See, that's the whole thing. You just make shit up. Do you see how you did that? I mean, nobody said that. You just made that up. You're like, yeah, I get it. Atheism is blah. And you just make up this thing that atheism is not. Anyway, why do people talk to you at all? Good morning, Too Skinny to Be Fat. Thank you for joining us. Christians punish the innocent in place of the guilty instead of taking responsibility for their own fuck-ups. That's the whole basis of Christianity, right? Jesus is taking your sins, not you. That's exactly what you just described. Thank you, Godspeed. I appreciate that. Let's see. Long Halloween. Again, harm is subjective. If someone wants to harm others, you have no objective reason for this. I mean, there's no objective. I don't think there's any objective morality. You're not going to find an argument for me if you're trying to argue against objective morality. It's all subjective. It is. I mean, murder? Oh, everybody agrees murder's wrong. Well, no, they don't. They really don't. They really don't. We have just here in Texas, like Texas, murder people if they break into your home. It's okay to murder them then. We just changed the word to self-defense. Well, you weren't necessarily self-defending yourself, were you? In Texas, it doesn't matter. You crack a window and run away, they'll shoot you in the fucking back and call it self-defense. Morality? In the Bible. Now, I could sit here and I could go, we have an entire horde of clergy. I want to say thousands and thousands of clergy. Not just Catholics, but clergy all over. Thousands and thousands of them that have been caught and convicted of molesting children. Does that group of men who did that think that molesting children is wrong or immoral? Even though we all think it is, clearly they don't. And if that was my old example, that was the old example I used to use. Because, technically maybe they do know it's immoral. They just don't care. However, we have examples of God creature in the Bible telling people to keep female virgins for sex slaves. That's God creature calling for the sexual assault of children. God creature, justified by God. Sexual assault of children. Now, there's probably a Christian out there, oh, it's not what they meant. Well, yeah, actually, that's what they meant whenever they say keep them for yourselves. There's other scriptures in the same book or shortly thereafter that tells them even how to treat them, how long they could put them in their house before they could legally rape them. That sort of thing. Yeah. So, objective morality? You have objective morality as a Christian, do you? We've got examples. Again, I reach back to Moses commanding the murder of small children, all the little ones among the males, and keep all the little ones among the females who have not known a man for yourself. And there was a percentage of those very females who were taken by that war who were given directly to the priests. Holy, holy is the Lord. So, raping children in the Bible is actually condoned, isn't it? Isn't it? It's instructed, isn't it? You sell your daughter for how much? And her choice is what? What is her choice? What happens when she gets there? Does she have a choice when she gets there? Interesting. Wonderful Bible. What's such a moral thing? Let's do something this morning. I'm going to do this right here. Let's see. What should I do to you, my wonderful friends? Should I visit the pup upon you? Have you met the pup?
Finnegan!
Yes, sir. Very disturbing, I know.
Fetch me Father Finnegan.
Your Highness.
You are in the presence of His Holiness, the Puppius Maximus, guardian of the sacred fire hydrant, defender of the holy tennis ball, and eater of the golden kibble, Pup Oliver Poopsalop the Fifth.
Your popedom. I heard you have a bone to pick with me.
Condoms, Father Finnegan?
No, thank you. I've got plenty.
That's what I mean. Why are you selling condoms?
Oh, you mean our Pharaoh Sombrero line of condoms? Understood.
You know how we feel about those around here.
Well, they're not to be used by the Catholics, of course.
Not for Catholics?
No, they're part of our Sinner Gonna Sin lack of faith outreach program.
A sinner gonna what?
It's like getting the tithe, but from the heretics and the heathens and the atheists.
Oh, well, when you put it like that,
But, Your Highness, this will reflect very poorly on the church.
true. You know what this means, Flanagan?
Warning label, a warning label on the box, not for Catholics in big letters.
Too subtle.
Instant purgatory if used by Catholics.
I like it. Divine branding.
Excellent, your popedom. Would there be anything else?
That will be all. You may leave.
All right, we are back. Let's see what we got here. Pin that real quick. Bible Believer says, oh yeah, it's a long time ago. I can unpin that. Fung Fang says, how come you don't attack Muhammad and Allah like this? You think you can destroy Jesus? You're just reading the immoral things men did in the Bible. We all need Jesus. Well, do you want an answer? Would you accept the answer? I live in the United States. And in the United States, Christianity is prevalent and it's being forced on other people here in the United States, and it hurts people here in the United States. Muhammad and Islam, which are both bad, but they're far away. So I don't give a shit about them. I don't care what they're doing. There's atheists over there who are talking bad about Muhammad, and they get the calls like, why don't you talk about Jesus the way you talk about? Because Jesus, Christians aren't over there fucking with his shit. Muslims are. Here, it's Christians forcing their bullshit on other people. And that's why. So... let's see. And yeah, we're talking about the immoral actions of the people in the Bible. Abso-fucking-lutely. You people base your morals on these. Oh, King David. How many people have been named after David? You know, the guy who murdered 200 people and cut off the end of their dicks? That David? And worship the same God who, whenever David did wrong, punished David by having David's 8 wives raped publicly by his son. What did they do? How come David wasn't publicly raped by his son? No, his wives were. This is King David, remember? They're disgusting people. How many people are out there named Abraham? Do you know what Abraham did? You know about, earlier I mentioned about Hagar and his wife, but the whole song that came on the Pharaoh's curse thing, the Pharaoh's curse, he gave his sister wife to the Pharaoh. She gave him the sexual disease. That's what the song is about. In Genesis 12, Abram and Sarah go into Egypt. He gives her to the Pharaoh, saying she's his sister. Because even though he's walking with the Lord, he's afraid that if they find out he's her husband, they'll murder him. Because I guess that's what they do in Egypt back then. So he tells the Pharaoh that it's his sister. And then the Pharaoh takes her. Then the Pharaoh gives her back and says, why have you done this to me? Why did you say she was your sister and not tell me she was your wife? Now me and my family has a disease because of her. And then Abram, of course, later in chapter 20, he does it again. And that time the king doesn't fall for it. It's a king this time. He doesn't fall for it. And he says, why did you do this to me? Why did you say she's your sister? And in chapter 20, Abraham says, well, because she is my sister and my wife. Father of the Abrahamic religions. Right? You guys are merciful. These are how many people out there are named Abram or Abraham for this piece of shit? Now, of course, you could argue that this is all Jewish stuff. Yeah, okay, sure. But you would be ignoring the fact that the Judaism religion is the backbone and basis of Christianity. It's what your religion is built on. Without Judaism, there is no Christianity. None at all. Staff meeting. Jesus was a Jew. He was a practicing Jew. He told other Jews to go do Jewish things. I've healed you. Go sacrifice at the temple as per the laws of Moses. Again, Jesus was actually at what's the Last Supper? The Last Supper is Passover, which is a Jewish holiday, where Jesus is celebrating the murder of children. Remember? Passover. When the angel of God passed over Egypt, and if you didn't have the blood of an innocent lamb over your door, it would murder your firstborn son. Huh. Interesting. Yeah. I mean, Mao is, there was really, I don't, even if we give you Mao, the numbers are just staggering against religion. Staggering. We really even shouldn't give you Mao, because it really wasn't about religion and a god and none of that business. It was about power and control. People using religion to control the masses. I actually kind of agree with that one, that it's a tool for, yeah. But then there's also his entire Stalinist regime and notion where they went, I don't agree with those things. Those aren't atheist things. Just because you're atheist, you can be a variety of other things. So many other things. But again, let's see.
Have you sinned again?
One moment.
Oh, and it's bad this time. A chicken just won't do. But wait, you don't have a goat for your burnt offering. Oh, no. The Lord's
Hello,
wrath
and welcome to
The 30 Years War.
Shakespeare with a Redneck.
4 to 12 million.
I am
people,
Wild Bill
16,
Wigglestick,
18.
and I'll be your handsome host,
War
your
is a legend
gilded
of
guide, your
1562.
cowboy concierge.
In 1598, that was 2 to 4 million.
Really?
people dead.
Today on Shakespeare with a Redneck, I'm going to perform the prologue from Romeo and Juliet. Damn it, Bill.
No goat? No problem. Just light one of these bad boys and let the sweet scent
Two
of
households,
burning
both alike in
flesh
dignity in
rise
fair
up to
Verona,
the
where we
heavens.
lay our saints. From ancient grudge break to new mutiny, where civil blood makes civil hands unclean. From forth the fatal loins of these two foes, a pair of star-crossed lovers, whose misadventured piteous overthrows doth with their death bury their parents' strife. The fearful passage of their death marked love and the continuance of their parents' rage, which but their children's end not could remove, is now the 2 hours traffic of our stage. The which, if you with patient ears attend, what here shall miss? Our toil shall strive to meet. Hey, that wasn't half bad. I'm not as dumb as I look. Of course not. You'd be in a coma. Okay, so here's a quick rundown of the situation. Bill, 2 snot-nosed brats ignore the warnings of their learned parents and end up getting 4 people killed. Bill, come on, man. You're always blah, blah, atheist stuff, blah, blah, boring. Say something fun, for goodness sake. What? Particle is a fun word. Bill, particle. Bill, or talk about horses and dogs. People love horses and dogs. Or boobies. Everybody loves boobies. Bill, can I say boobies on YouTube? If you close your eyes, it does.
Okay, so something happened with the sound. When I did it, that's the first time it's done it though, right? It hasn't done that every time, so it's not. Maybe it just didn't go to. You guys all see me, right? Okay, hold on. Let me just. In a second, because these things are on a timer, it'll probably kick me over to something else. Anyways, actually, I didn't mean to run that commercial. I must have fat bagged it, bumped my chips bag into my button or something. I don't know. But here we go. I was talking about, here's the 30 Years' War from 1618 to 1648. 4 to 12 million people killed. Religious Holy Roman Empire kind of thing. French Wars of Religion, 1562, 1598. 2 to 4 million deaths. The Crusades, 1 to 3 million deaths during military campaigns. The Hussite Wars, 100,000 to 200,000 deaths. The Roman Jewish War. It just goes on. It goes on and on and on and on and on and on and on with religious wars. Again, it's one thing to, we do have wars for bland and tangible things that people need to exist. I'm not really a person who can argue completely against all of that. Obviously, there's a point, I guess, in your civilization where you have to go, you know what, we're out of resources and we must. God isn't that resource. To go around like the Calvinist war, where how many people did the Calvinists kill? And the reason why they were murdering each other is because one group thinks it's okay to have statues and pictures in your church, images, and the other group says you should not have graven images. You should not have graven images. And they murdered each other for that by the millions. When we talk about Mao and Stalin and Pol Pot, it's about power. Religion is about God. Don't put that button again. Old man, let's see. Gernolio. I mean to say that your God commands war, but then says there is no war in the name of religion is weird. I know, let me just pull this up and see. When do we start making fun of Christians? Doesn't the God in the Bible explicitly tell you to kill people? It does, over and over again. All kinds of people. Children, women, babies. It does. It tells you to sacrifice your firstborn son to Jesus. Or to God. If you think Jesus and God are the same thing, then God, creature, Jesus, commands the sacrifice of children to him. Interesting. Yeah. It's really funny how thou shalt not kill is directly followed by, now go wipe out an entire group of people, man, woman, and child, and do it for an imaginary creature. And they go, well, that's different. Thou shalt not murder. They'll equivocate. Thou shalt not murder. That's different than killing in the name of your God, apparently. Yeah, it's genocide. They call it genocide. Odd Mod Kiff, I hope you're doing great. Kiss a kiss. Dairy Fiend says, Chris, I miss when you broadcast on Discord. The audio was so much better. Well, I actually went through a lot of effort to make my audio better. I recently rebuilt my computer. I built a new computer, and so I haven't got everything fixed yet. Even my audio on the old channel, even just straight to YouTube, was better than it is now. 1,000 apologies. I'll get there, though. Really, I could do it again to Discord. It doesn't take a lot of effort. Just there wasn't really anybody watching it, so it's just, I ended up leaving it on, and I don't even know why I still read your shit. It's just ignorant every time you speak. Not you, whoever I was just talking to. Prince Vegeta, killing in the name of this god creature. Right. How often? I mean, it's a holy book. Jesus is a God of peace and love and mercy, isn't he? Isn't he? And yet 4 chapters in, the first man kills another man for the love of this God. Because it didn't approve of him. It was mean and, what is it? Dismissive and rude and threatening. Right out the gate. God creature's a piece of shit. Right out the gate. Of its own holy book. Anyway, I digress. Yes, Dairy, yeah. Yeah, I used to leave it on. Gernolio, I don't know where you came from, but you are reading my mind. Yes. The first lie ever told, according to God, according to their own religion, was by God. The serpent told them the truth. God said they would die. They did not die. The serpent said they would gain the knowledge of the gods. God later, at the bottom of that chapter, admits they learned that. No, so. It's just really interesting how you just make up shit for other. I'm gonna click it up here. But I mean, it's not highlighting because you're not highlighted, but my highlight thing isn't working yet. Cypherbox says, and surely you hate life because life turns out to cause a lot of tears and suffering. I mean, where were you all of my life to tell me what I'm thinking, what I'm doing, and why I do what I do? It's interesting. You've been here, what? An hour, and you go on about yourself saying things that we do or think that we don't actually do or think. You just make this shit up. Fuck. I just realized something, my friends. Why did it take me this long? Cypherbox, how old are you? I'm thinking under 14. You under 14? Just put it there in the chat. Let me know. I have my doubts. I guess I could go look up your channel. Let's see. Fung Fan, I hope I answered your question about Muhammad and all that business. Let's see. Dylan Morrow, good morning. Jesus is agape, which means good. Jesus is all good, the very definition. That's not true. That's not true. It's not. We're talking about the same Jesus? Okay. This guy don't know the Bible. All right. Dylan Morrow says, Jesus is agape. Jesus is all good, the very definition of. Jesus said, why callest thou me good? None is good save one, only God. You knew that, right? So Jesus is good, yet Jesus himself says, why do you call me good? I'm not good. Only God is good. That's Matthew. Mark 10:18. So, is Jesus good? Would you actually disagree with Jesus? Are you one of those? Because Jesus taught X, Y, and Z. Paul comes out and teaches C, D, and E. And people are like, oh, Paul said this wonderful thing. I'm a Christian. But actually, you're more Paulinian, aren't you? Because you do what Paul said instead of what Jesus said. Are you one of those? Good morning, Villa. Let's see what you got to say. All the live streams after you preaching Jesus. Hello, it's everyone's job these days to sell the dead dude anesthesia to the sheep. Yeah, I guess it is. This man blows goats. You're not supposed to know about that. Unless, of course, you're signed up to the OnlyFans. The only goats. Let's see. Hey, Jonathan Lovejoy. I want to kind of reach out to you for just a moment and just point out something to you. Before Jesus, Jews had to sacrifice animals for their sins. But Jesus came along, and now they don't have to sacrifice animals anymore. Is that right? Jesus, he's the final sacrifice. No more sacrifice of animals. That's good. Now let me ask you something. Before Jesus came along, I'm sorry, I was chewing. Before Jesus came along, you had to do stuff, didn't you? You had to do things. You had to sacrifice. You had to go through and apologize and sacrifice. After Jesus comes along, you still got to do all those things, don't you? You still got to go believe in Jesus and do this and jump through that hoop before you had to jump through hoops, after you had. So it's like no real change for man. Am I right? Can you agree with me on that, Jonathan? There's no change for man. Before Jesus, man had to sacrifice and tithe and give their shit. And after Jesus, you got to believe and sacrifice and tithe and give your shit. But you know who doesn't have to? You know who doesn't have to tithe, doesn't have to believe? No requirement on their part. None at all. The goats. The goats, the calves, the doves, the sacrificial animals. Jesus is the Savior of the goats. With his sacrifice, no goats have been sacrificed for Christianity outside the occasional barbecue down in Texas. And you see what I mean? So all the goats no longer were a sacrificial animal. Jesus saved the goats. But you, my friend, you still have to do all these things. You still have to know, even if it's as simple as believing God through Jesus Christ, whatever, you have to do it or you're not saved. So did he really give himself for you, or did he really just save the goats? Interesting. I wonder why during that last commercial it screwed up my thing. I'm a little hesitant to run another commercial because I thought I fixed shit this morning. I thought I fixed it. Let's see what's going on. Maybe I did. Because, there's some things I can test. Some things you really can't test until you're streaming. It just don't, you know what I mean. Lions are cliche. Good morning, ponderous nerve. Lions are cliche. That was a tasty Christian, said the lion. There you go. I don't want to be a sheep. I want to be a goat, says ponderous nerve. Hey, that's a good point. Lions are indeed overrated. One of the cool things I think about goats is that their eyes evolved. Christians, just ignore that word. I'm not talking to the Christians in this one. Their eyes evolved, so like they're horizontal like this. You know how goats' eyes are slots, not circles. They're like this, and when they bend their head down to eat, instead of their eyes cranking with their head like ours do, like that, their eyes actually stay level when they so they can watch out for prey animals, and so that whenever they're down like this, their eyes are still horizontal. Isn't that cool? Evolution is a crazy thing. Okay, Christians, you can listen again. Info Unlimited. Good morning. Christianity says God is love by definition, but if that's true, you have to make every horrible, crazy thing God does good. With this logic, slavery is good, rape is good, incest is good. So very true. As I mentioned there, I kind of go right for the jugular, because if you go by that, then murdering children is good. Murdering pregnant women is good. If you go by that. Anything God says is good. Well, the deal is, where Christians like to split the hair is why they were killed. If they were killed for God creature, then this must be good. They must have deserved it. Have you ever noticed that there's a lot of victim blaming in Christianity? They deserved it. It's Adam and Eve's fault, right? Oh, hey. Quantum Tap, good morning. Ponderous Narrow, just came across your stream. Glad I have. Hello from Ontario, Canada. Good morning. Thank you for joining me this morning. Welcome to the damnation, fellow burner. Yeah. We've actually had quite a few people. Goats are dope. They are, Jackson Garrett. They are. Indeed, they are. Goats are just cool. Baby goats, man. Go look at a baby goat. Those are some of the cutest little things. I'm going to try this, guys. I'm going to try this. And I hope it works. I'll be watching the chat in case it is double audio or any of that business, okay? Here we go. Do you have a loved one who's on their deathbed, but they've yet to give themselves up to the Lord?
Are you sure you don't want to come to Jesus?
No.
This is your final chance.
No. Worried they're headed to the fiery pits of hell.
Your very last chance.
No. I've been wicked and sinful. I deserve to burn in the hot place.
As you wish. Farewell, my heathen husband.
Farewell, my... Well, fear not, my wayward child. Introducing Father Flanagan's line of post-mortem baptismal kits. No more worries about being miserable alone forever. Be a good Christian and share that eternal pain and suffering with the ones you love. I'm in hell. Not as hot as I thought it'd be. Kind of feels like Houston, minus the humidity. Hello? My favorite drink crafted to perfection. Ooh, and some dank ass weed.
I can't bear to be down on my face chanting, holy, holy, holy is the Lord, every day, all day, for all eternity, by myself.
Wow, is that George Carlin? And Alan Turing, look at that. Carl say, oh, I am so honored. You've been my hero since I was a kid. Neil deGrasse Tyson, what are you doing here? Oh, I get it. I get it. Schrodinger's heathen. Very cute, you. Very cute. That's fantastic. Oh, what is that? What is... It's holy water. Oh, it burns. No, this isn't where I want to be. Pabst Blue Ribbon and a Marlboro? No! Father Flanagan's post-mortem baptismal kit. Dead kid tested, Mother Teresa approved. Is that the Pope and John Paul? Jim Jones and Jimmy Swaggart, huh? I can see that coming. Neil deGrasse, what are you doing? Holy, holy, holy is the Lord. Holy, holy, holy is the Lord.
Thanks, Father Flanagan.
Damn them to an eternity in heaven for only $59.99. They wouldn't appreciate it, but you'll feel better, and that's the point, isn't it? Get yours now. Your heathen loved one's time is running out. Holy, holy, holy is the Lord. This is some bullshit. Holy, holy, holy is the Lord. All right, we are back. You know, I really enjoy making those commercials. My old computer was getting to where it just could not handle. That was one of the most recent ones I made there. With the, you know, like, if you're not aware, me and the woman in the video have never met in person. She was a co-host on my channel. I mean, that's all me using DaVinci Resolve and all that business. And my old computer just could not handle it. And I built a new computer about a week and a half ago. And it's handling it. I'm going to finish up doing my editing for the New Mexico Shakespeare Festival. And then I'm going to create some stuff for you guys. Yeah. Matter of fact, you know, I have an ADHD brain, so I'll actually start those things beforehand. I just have a timeline on the festival thing. You know how it is with ADHD people. You give us a timeline, we're all fucked. With the others, I don't have a timeline, so you may never see them at all. But you know what I mean. Yeah, good morning, Katie Bluebird. Ryan is awesome. I still see her videos. She does all kinds of stuff. Go follow Ryan Coltastic if you're not a follower of her. See, I mean, did Cypher ever answer my question about his age? Because, I mean, I'm just saying. Let me look. I mean, you really like to tell people what they think. You think you know what other people, what's going on in their mind. And you... Last post. I told you, atheism makes you a coward. You're afraid of depression. You're afraid of suffering. You're even afraid of life. All right. Ponderous Nerve says, I remember growing up, I grew up in a pretty charismatic Christianity, and there was always a heavy push to be a sheep. So Jesus could just lead us. Then I realized I'm a black sheep. Now I'm a goat, the goat. You know, that's one of the things. Yeah, there's a lot of that's I'm unworthy. We're disgusting. We're sinful from birth. And again, there's the old question, good morning, Miss Non Sequitur. No, we are fairly sure he's a bot, no engagement whatsoever. Which bot? Oh, who's a bot? Oh, we're talking about Jackass. Okay, gotcha. Well, I wouldn't doubt it at all. So there was that. Got distracted. Let's see. So Ponderous Nerve, true. Black sheep, not a goat. But then again, you would think, right? Well, part of it is they say it's not. Hey, if you're new to the channel, let me tell you something. Oh man, I tell you, you're gonna love this. Okay, if you're an atheist, you're gonna love this. Okay, so in the Old Testament, in Exodus, God twice tells Moses and his people, gives them a bunch of rules and laws and shit, and then he tells them to sacrifice their children to him, their firstborn to him. Twice he does, at least twice, 3 times I think, at least. The second time in Exodus 13, though, it does say you can redeem a calf for him or some shit, but the first time it does not. No calf, no that, but then at least twice, once more after that, it does not give you the option to sacrifice, to get out of the sacrifice. Then go read Ezekiel. In Ezekiel 24, God is bragging to Ezekiel about how he gave the people in the forest, because they pissed him off, rules and laws they could not live by. And that he defiled their form of sacrifice. Okay? Whatever their sacrifice was supposed to be, he told them a wrong way, which was actually to sacrifice their children. He told them the wrong way. He brags about telling them to sacrifice their children. Now, let's talk about Christianity. With Christianity, you are supposed to live up to a perfect man. You're unworthy. I mean, he's a God man, but you got to live up to Jesus somehow. So, as described by God creature to Ezekiel, that is the description of laws and statutes they could not live by. And Jews were supposed to sacrifice a certain way. By becoming a Christian, even though it wasn't child sacrifice, it was still defilement of the sacrifice, because they're not sacrificing at all now because Jesus. It sounds exactly like what God creature did to his people in the desert. He gave them laws they couldn't follow. statutes they couldn't live by. And he defiled their sacrifice on purpose. What a loving, merciful God. But to me, it almost sounds like Christianity is another one of those times where at some point this group of Jews who were supposed to do it a certain way pissed God off, and he's like, boom, and now we've got 2,000 years of Christianity. I don't know if y'all ever heard those stories. So Jesus Christ is your Savior and your King, says Mango Jet. Cool, Mango. Savior from what? Who's Jesus saving you from? From who? From God. Jesus is going to save you from God. Is Jesus God? Jesus is going to save you from himself? Is that what you're saying to me? Jesus is God, and Jesus is your Savior, and Jesus is going to save you from Jesus because Jesus is God? But Jesus is also merciful and loving and kind, right? So why would you need to be saved from him, from God? Why would you even need that? Why wouldn't he just blink you mercilessly out of existence? Why do you need to be saved from this creature at all? And as for being a king, Jesus was never a king. He ran away. John chapter 6, whenever somebody said, hey, we want to make you our king, he literally ran away. Go read John chapter 6 yourself. Ran away to the mountains. Said, no, I don't want to be a king. Jews said, don't make him my king. But he's not our king. No. Pilate spat the words at him, king of the Jews. He never had a throne, never wore a crown, never levied taxes, never waged a war, never raised an army, did none of the things a king does. Anyway, tell yourself he was a king. Jesus saves you from yourself unless you're perfect, right? Were you here a minute ago? Enough, Eric? Were you here a minute ago where I was talking about laws you could not live up to? And the defilement of the sacrifice? Yeah, that's right. You're right. Jesus is save you from, unless you're perfect. Can you be perfect? No. That sounds like a statute you couldn't live by, doesn't it? Doesn't it? You can't live by that. Nobody can live up to those statutes, can they? And you don't sacrifice anymore as you're supposed to because of Jesus. Sounds like you fell for it, really, to me. But you do. Jesus is our Savior from sin. No, he's not. He's not. No. What is sin? What is sin? Sin is a thing determined by God creature. By Jesus, if you think Jesus is God. If Jesus or God creature doesn't like something, it's a sin, correct or wrong? If it does like something, it is holy, correct or wrong, right? So a sin is just a matter of opinion of your God creature, right? Sometimes your God creature says murdering children is bad. Sometimes it says it's good. How do you know? When most of the examples it sets are that murdering children is good. How do you know? Interesting. Jesus, you're right. No, you're wrong, Mango. Jesus is a savior from him. You know who he's saving you from. From hell, from term damnation. But we want a victim blame. You Christians want a victim blame. You want a victim blame. Saving you from yourself for making a bad choice. Really? Given a bad choice. Given a bad choice. If that's the choice to be made. Velo, a child would get a cancerous tumor because he sinned. Christian logic is just pure stupidity. Hashtag truth. That's the whole thing. It depends on which Christian you're talking about. You know, I mean, some of them believe you're wicked and sinful and you're dirty from birth, from before birth. You're dirty. And if you die or you're aborted, you go to hell because their God creature is that merciful and that loving. What a piece of shit God they worship. If they think that babies and children are sinful because of something Eve did and they deserve damnation or hell. That's just what a piece of shit group. It disgusts me. Jesus loves so much. Jesus is king, says Jesus loves so much. Did you just get here? You just got here. I'm not repeating it all about how Jesus was never a king. Maybe you got here and you just wanted to prove that you weren't paying attention. Or don't care. Maybe you're one of those that don't care. You know, like Jesus is going to show up at your place and he's going to be like, man, look at all these fucking crosses. You know, I was nailed to one of those motherfuckers. What would make you think I would want to see one? Why would you think I would want to see a cross around your fucking neck? Every time I got to look at your ugly face, I got to see that cross. Every time I look at your ugly face, I got to see those crosses in your earlobe. What the fuck? Why would you think that? Why would you think that? You guys are so funny. A dove, man, wear a dove. Wear a dove if you think Jesus is peace. Now remember, Jesus said, I did not come to bring peace. So fuck the dove, right? Right? Ooh, let's see. A new name in the chat. I think it was a new name in the chat. Maybe it's already on. Ponderous Nerve, I remember growing up. Okay, cool. Let me get rid of that one there. Vestifria. If Jesus ended up being hung or drawn or quartered or decapitated with a guillotine, I wonder what would end up being at the front of the church. True enough, you know. Good thing he wasn't shot with a shotgun, and the Christians would be all fucking shit with their rifle necklaces. They already are, right? Pooty says, I believe there is objective morality. It's based on promotion of individual rights, logic, and empathy. And see, since you're the only person that feels exactly that way, it's clearly not objective. Otherwise, everybody would feel that way. And it would be a compulsion. You'd have to be compelled not to feel that way because it would be so natural. I'm just saying. That's just me. Avidor, good morning, Avidor. I hope I said your name right. Says Isaiah 45:7, I form the light. I create the darkness. I make peace, and I create evil. I, the Lord, do all these things. So who is really guilty for the evil in the world, says Avidor. Now, and see, that's kind of the point I'm saying. Evil is determined by God, whether God likes something or not, period. God likes when you murder people and cut off their dick flesh. That right, doesn't he? David, David of the house of David. Yeah. From whom Jesus, so holy, and Jesus is supposed to, the Star of David. Yeah, that guy who likes to murder people and cut off the ends of their dicks. Holy, all right. That's right. Murder is an opinion. Murder, well, yeah, murder is an opinion. It really is. Murder is your opinion as to, is it murder? Is it suicide? Suicide. Is it murder? Is it self-defense? You know, was it this? Is it that? Is it murder if you're commanded by your God to kill them? Is that murder? Is it murder if you kill somebody in war and therefore you can split the hair because that one commandment says murder, don't murder? Right? Peace be with you all. Thank you, Mango. God will forgive you if you repent for your sins. See, Mango, though, really? Why? What are my sins? Can you list off what my sins are? How do you know what my sins are? Sins are indeed the opinion of God creature. Are they not? So, how do you know? How do I know what my sins are? I'm just supposed to believe. So essentially y'all are holding this eternal gun, this after I die gun to my head. And if I don't believe what you tell me, then after I die, you're going to shoot me in the head and punish me. That's a bad example. You're threatening me to harm me after I die. With no proof. No evidence. You can't even get your shit together as to what your story is. How many Christians in the chat think hell is a fiery burning place? And how many of you in the chat think, well, God couldn't be that cruel to where he would damn innocent children and women who did nothing more than just not believe in Jesus Christ? That's their only sin, because God determines what's a sin, right? And according to God, if you don't believe in God through Jesus Christ, that is a sin. Therefore, everybody who doesn't believe that way perishes, right? They're all wicked. They all it doesn't matter. Sin and wicked and evil are just the opinion of an imaginary creature. Now, we have societal rules and mores and laws that we determine what's good and what's bad and what's wrong. And really, you would think that if they really did have objective morality, they would all have the same morality. Like I said earlier, it would be natural and compelling. We'd all feel the same way. And if murder were bad, it'd really be innate, hard for you to do it because it'd be so unnatural. You know, I mean, but it's just they're so not. I don't even see why they care. Their own God creature changes its mind willy-nilly from one chapter of the book to the other chapter of the book. Why do they even latch on to this objective morality? It's like some kind of proof that they have a God. But then we destroy it by going, all right, so you have an objective morality. Show me how that objective morality is the same from that one over there. They have different moral sets. They all do. Like I used earlier, between the Catholics, Mormons, they're all Christians, so surely they get their morals from the same place. Therefore, since it's objectively the same place, they should obviously get the same morals. Therefore, there shouldn't be Muslim or Mormons. There should only be Catholics, since they were the first, technically. You know what I mean? There should only be one if they had truly objective morality, but they don't. They can't agree on shit. You can't go from one church, one block to another block in a big city without seeing this is this kind of church and this is that kind of church. And the fact that you can actually name the different kinds of church tells you their morality is not objective. They don't follow the same rules. They don't believe in the same rules. Anyway, enough of me. Let's see. He can't be too nice to Satan. He prepared a place for Satan. Why? Wait. He can't be too nice to Satan. And yet, he made Satan Lord over the entire world and allows him, Satan, to fuck with his people like little finger puppets. That sounds pretty favored to me. Doesn't it to you? Isn't that weird that God creature would do that? Does that make sense? No, that doesn't make sense, does it? It's kind of stupid when you really think about it, isn't it? It's stupid. An angel, first of all, a creature who has seen God, literally knows this creature exists and has seen the face of God, doesn't believe and like what God creature does and how he does it. And he thinks he can rule. That's bad enough. But then you've got a third of the host of heaven. Do you know what a host of heaven is? According to their own little story, it's an uncountable number. I would presume, therefore, a third of an uncountable number would also indeed be an uncountable number. Because if you could count the third, right? Oop, don't do the math. So it's a lot of fucking angels. He convinced a third of the host of heaven, not angel, a host of heaven, a third of the host of heaven to turn against God. Now, how could he do that? Unless God creature were just a piece of shit. Did they have like on your Facebook or something where it's like social media for angels up there? How did he convince a third of the host of heaven? A third. Not fools, not uneducated people, not idiots, not mind and body slaves in a garden meant to do nothing but be naked and grow shit. No. Angels. God creatures, godly creatures, heavenly creatures. A third of the host of heaven. Satan somehow convinced a third of them. Well, I propose that God creatures probably shit, right? I mean, wouldn't you think? Just based on the example given. Even if his own angels rebelled again. Isn't that fucking... And then like the examples we give about all the people in Israel throughout the Old Testament, the ancient Hebrew, how he would take them from play, literally show them his power, and they would still not want to worship him, still turn away from him. Maybe he's just a shit fucking God. Y'all ever think of that? Have you read the book? You should really stop hurting people in the name of this God creature. Let's see. We've got some super chats. J. Paul, for $2 said, respect free thinking. Thank you for doing this. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Thank you. And then Atheist Mechanic has been a member at the silver level. That's our highest level, $10 a month. Very much appreciate you. It says, get this. The county where Jack Daniels is brewed is a dry county. We were talking about blue laws earlier. Indeed, the county where Jack Daniels, dry county. And then let's go over here. I do thank you guys. We even had some super chats from the vertical this morning. We had Tech 787 LLC. Interesting. Okay, cool. I might have to look that up. For $2 said, when do you want to debate me? Or are you scared? I don't remember the individual ever giving me a reason to debate them. Do you guys in the chat? I remember asking, like, who are you? Do you have a church, a big parish or something, a group of people? Because I'm never going to convince this guy shit. No, but if I can debate him in front of his church, I might be able to, drive a wedge in there in some of their minds. I'd be down. Yeah. But no, he doesn't have a church. Nope, just jack off, sitting in his mother's basement, going, I can take out the atheist, I destroy atheists. Yeah, debate me, bro. You guys are, yeah. Good morning, Die Trump Die. Thank you for being here. Ponderous Nerd, I do appreciate that. And you and all the other new people, thank you for being here today. I'll throw one more little of our cute little commercial thingies at you new guys before I leave, okay? If you haven't suffered enough trauma, as it were. We got a whole line of products from Father Flanagan's. And we do have the Holy Halos. You'll love the Holy Halos. If you're not familiar with them, you will see. Let's go down here. Vesta Frisia. Really nice to see you, Vesta. Thank you. Avidor, get that out of there. God will forgive you and repent for your sins. Again, forgive me for what? What is a sin? It's just God. All I have to do to sin is to not believe in Jesus Christ. That's a sin. That's burn forever worthy. Is it really? Is your God that fragile that it has to threaten me with eternal damnation, whatever that is? Really? Puny God. And then for $10, Frosty Bot said, here's $10, buddy. But yeah, the American way is politics, but the Christian people are the voice of the people and enacting authority. That's kind of what's, the Christian nationalists have taken over. They're actually warring. I don't know if this individual is agreeing with me or not. I don't know if we're on the same page or not. But yeah, we're attacking. Christians are leading our nation and attacking a Muslim nation at the behest of Jews. Right now. It's a zealot war, is it not? Would you not call it a zealot war? Or a continuation of the zealot wars? Thank you very much for your $10. Says the rest of it says, so yes, it's mostly a bunch of people holding things down or up or whatever. Yeah, that's not wrong. Not wrong. Let me check off one last thing. Peace of Mind says, didn't you ask me to tell? I'm not sure if you're talking to me, sorry. Okay, some aren't worth reading. And I'm just checking my chat before I do the thing. All right, so to the new theists in the chat, we know who you are. And the bots, of course. But for the new real people watching the show, I appreciate you. We like to do funny things. I just built a new computer because I was getting to the limits of my things that I could do. I'll start doing things again. This is one of those things. If you can, support the channel. It cost me everything. Here we go. But enjoy this. When I come back, I'll close out the show. And go. So it's not going to go. I'm going to have to manually do the Holy Halos commercial. So, un moment, s'il vous plaît. Next up in the bark bank, a clergyman with a holy hustle, and maybe a few unholy loopholes.
Hi, Barks. Blessings and belly rubs to you all. I'm Father Flanagan, and today I'm here seeking $50,000 for 3% of my soul-saving startup, Holy Halos, the world's first, soon-to-be, church-approved condoms. Following the ways of the Lord can be hard and often require sacrifices of the flesh. Well, fear not, my wayward child. Introducing Father Flanagan's line of Holy Halo condoms.
Hold on, Father. The church very much doesn't like condoms. How do you expect to sell these?
Well, you're right, but these aren't just any condoms. No, my furry financiers, these are permeable. But every single halo has been dipped in holy water, a divine divider between you and sin. You can finally frolic freely and still keep that sweet spot in heaven. Permeable, but dipped in holy water to keep the sin out, but let the babies in.
Let you get your stick wet without getting your stick stuck.
If you know what I mean.
Oh my! Very embarrassing every time.
So basically they don't work as condoms, but they let you get away with having sex without going to hell?
Exactly. The church gets to keep making babies, but you don't have to keep going to confession. Think of it. No more guilt. No more awkward "I'm saving myself for marriage" speeches. With holy halos, you can take those pray hands and turn them into lay hands.
Didn't I read that holy water is full of bacteria like E. coli? Won't this be harmful to women's health?
The words are English, but I don't understand the question.
How are you addressing the issue holy water presents for women's health?
Again, I'm not understanding.
She does that. Well, we don't get it either.
Is that mesh from a window screen?
Ah, that's a keen eye you have there, young lass. Yes, yes. Another fine selling point. Rough on the outside to increase her shame, as it should be. But soft and smooth on the inside, internally lubed and ribbed for his pleasure. We even have custom scents.
Scents? Now you have my attention. What flavors we talking? Don't pitch me that vanilla missionary nonsense, Padre.
Well, we do have virgin vanilla, but we also have miracle mint and cooing camel and my personal favorite, sweat of the Savior.
And the Vatican, they've blessed this endeavor?
Well, not exactly. I'm still waiting on the papal decree one way or the other.
I love it, but you're asking 50 grand for only 3%. That's rough, Father, real rough.
Not running with the big dogs on this one. I'm gonna stay on the porch.
Me too. Good luck, Father. 15%.
Ouch, 15%, that's highway robbery even for the church.
Come on, Father. We're dogs. We know a bone when we see one. 10%, and we'll even bless your branding.
Look, meet me in the middle, 7%, and I'll baptize all your puppies.
7% works for me. Father Flanagan, it looks like
Wait a second. Our producers say we have a special call-in bidder. Let's get him up on the screen. Folks, we have the guardian of the sacred fire hydrant himself.
Oh no.
Defender of the holy tennis ball and eater of the golden kibble, Pup Oliver Poops a Lot the Fifth.
Flanagan!
Yes, your Pope.
50,000 at 20%.
20%?
And you get to keep calling yourself a father.
Sold to the pup in the very fine hat.
I knew you'd see it, my...
Next up in the bark bank.
It cut off the end of the commercial, man. It did. That sucks. This system, I gotta fix it. It's broken. Anyway, guys, it's been a lot of fun. Welcome to the show, guys. I just rebuilt the show, so I mean, I didn't even bring nothing over. The old show was all right, but it's so old. It had all these things. I just started from scratch, and when you do that, tech gremlins. So I am off to save the world. Yes, thank you for joining us again. The puppers are here. There, it can be traumatic. Therapists are standing by. I'm off to save the world. Sin safely, my friends. We'll see you tomorrow. Poopsie.
Got a house that smells like old cheese and shame. Father Flanagan's flesh candles change the game. Goat-scented thrills for your soul's delight. Light it up, baby, make your room right. When you've sinned and need to atone, light a candle and avoid the stone. Smell the goat in a holy zone. Father Flanagan here to set the tone. Confession booth, busy, no need to stress. Light a candle and forget your mess. Gross odors vanish like sins in the wind. With each wick, guess who's your new best friend? When you've sinned and need to atone, light a candle and avoid the stone. Smell the goat in a
the tone. Lambs and calves may have their day, but goats the scent that leads the way. Clean your slate with a sniff so pure. Father Flanagan's got the cure. Turn your home into a saintly space. With every whiff, find redeeming grace.